supposed to have gotten the nod on tonight's exhibition start against the Orioles that got rained out. We're joined now by the president of baseball operations, Mike Rizzo, who just strolled the red carpet and is getting ready for the gala himself. This is one of those really fun nights organizationally where I'd imagine just the camaraderie element of this, the fellowship of getting everyone together out of baseball. These are nights that matter in the grand scheme of things.
You know, when we've been cooped up together for about 2 months in Florida, it's time to let our hair down. No pun intended. Let our hair down, have a little fun, and after months of preparation and coming north, have a night of a little bit of a little levity, and then get back to business tomorrow. We got to work out next 2 days, and then we take on the Phillies Thursday. So we're looking forward to it.
In terms of this night, and it's a testament, I think, to how much part of the community the Nationals are. Whereas I'm old, remember when they didn't exist, right? This is now it's a thing we take. I don't say take for granted, but we expect. And everything from National Philanthropies to the Nats Youth Academy to Ian Desmond being honored tonight for all of his involvement. It's something that kind of makes you pull up and go, this is actually pretty cool that this is now kids that went are now grown-ups with their own kids. It's kind of a neat part of the cycle.
Yeah, we're coming in on my 18th year in the organization, and we've seen it grow from its infancy, and we're part of the fabric of the community now. We do our thing and here in DC, and we're proud to wear Washington on the front of our uniforms, and we take that pride with responsibility to be good to our fan base and to have them be proud of us.
Mike Rizzo, president of baseball ops of the Nats here on Grant and Danny. I was just asking Jake Irvin about this. I want to double down with you. Based on a few of the decisions you guys have made here, it feels like the faders are getting turned up a little bit on it's time to win. This is now about going out there and pushing this thing forward. Is that based on kind of the mindset and the paradigm? Is that fair to say that you guys are kind of turning up the heat on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that we always want to win, and I think that those 8 or 9 years of excellence that we had, we expected to win. I think that we have to get back to the mindset that we expect to win every time we take the field, and we think that we're going to come a step closer this year with that mindset and that attitude taking the field. That we're going to win this game and then move on to the next.
For you, if blank happens, this team will be better than people think.
I think that if we play the game the right way, we got an abundance of skill and talent and tools, if you will, on the team, both in core position players and rotation and bullpen arms. And if we play the game the right way, give them 27 outs, don't run into outs, play offensively efficient and play, and throw strikes, attach the strike zone, and go deeper into games. I think that the sky's the limit for us.
Does not getting to play at all today, with a couple of days off still ahead, hinder you guys in any way in the grand scheme?
Well, it kind of threw a wrench into what we're trying to do, moving forward, because we had Jake was scheduled to start that game today and go several innings, and then our bullpen guys were going to go 1 inning each. So we had to make do with Jake throwing a simulated game in the bullpen today, because today's his day to do it, to set him up for the future this weekend. But it's you have to adapt and overcome, and Hickey put his thinking cap on, and we did the workouts that we had to do, and guys took an abundance amount of BP, and we'll get back at it tomorrow and Wednesday, and be ready for Thursday.
And you guys were able to get right into mid-season form of dealing with DC weather. I mean, you're back from West Palm,
rain delay,
and it's
city,
like,
baby.
Of course, we're sitting there. Toby and I are in the dugout, like, today should be awesome, and it's raining, and we're not sure if they're going to play. Like, this just feels right, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's it's kind of like what we go through, throughout the season. It's like it's like there's always a chance of rain, and then the rain circles back on us. And
it's got to be ballpark location.
I know way more about the meteorology than I ever thought I would. Yeah.
It's got to be the river or something. Like, I don't know anything,
yeah.
But the weather at that ballpark is the least predictable. It's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, and I feel like every single time a big event happens over the years, it's never like 79 and sunny. There's always rain in the forecast.
Yeah, it's challenging to say the least, and I know it frustrates our fan base sometimes it is a different. It's a difficult a decision to navigate. When to start games at times and when to cancel games, and we try to err on always the side of the convenience of the fan. That's our most important aspect of the decision making. But we certainly didn't want to play a game on a wet field with the Orioles and the Nats, and somebody slips and gets hurt, and that's not what we wanted to do either. So,
Mike, this is a treat. Enjoy tonight, man. Thanks for
It's always a pleasure, you guys. Thank you,
buddy.
Mike Rizzo, President Baseball Ops, getting ready to go enjoy his evening at the Nats Gala. They are at the Anthem tonight on the Wharf. Couple of minutes with the gentleman who's going to be putting the roster together with Davey Martinez. We mentioned there's just a few decisions left at this point. The second catcher, the last two bullpen spots, and there's three guys competing, and then your last bench spot probably in the infield between Tena and Juan Yepez. But generally at this point, I think they've got a pretty good feel for the way that they're leaning. That's indicative maybe of a little bit more competition. They did not have the offseason I wanted, or a lot of people wanted, in terms of high-impact stardom.
Right.
But there's certainly at a pace maybe that doesn't match up with what fans have always wanted. They are getting closer and closer in this rebuild.
Yeah, given limitations that I think came from a different office, they made some pretty shrewd moves, as they always do. Right? I can't get over that nobody else wanted Paul DeJong for like $11. I think that guy's gonna hit 20+ home runs for them and be an impact bat. The fact that he was available is remarkable. That's a really shrewd signing that this organization has done a lot of.
Who's this handsome gentleman?
Look at this suit.
Sitting down right now.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Ladies and gentlemen, Davey Martinez, manager of your Nationals. So I've never even thought about this until this moment. Baseball is the only sport, I think, where the coach wears the uniform. And there used to be in a lot of other sports that they would go full suit. It's obviously way too hot to do that in baseball.
Way too hot and way too expensive.
Is that true?
That's true, too.
There you go.
But where are you on, wearing the full uniform in baseball as opposed to other sports where you could wear, some kind of tracksuit or something like that?
You know what? I actually love it. I really do. Being that I played for such a long time, I know nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So putting the uniform on, it really makes me feel good. It really does.
So it's from the days where it was like the 30-year-old was the ancient veteran who was the player manager.
Sure.
Hitting himself fifth every day, whatever. So, but yeah.
Now, hey, granted, back in those days, we wore the uniforms a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
A lot different, I would say. Hey, great video the team put out of you walking in the robe.
Oh, so
I'm
good.
guessing in the West Palm clubhouse. I didn't
so
pay much attention.
They conned me into that because it was supposed to be in-house, right? Nothing.
Oh, nobody was supposed to see it?
No, and they released that. So Lisa
somebody
said,
got an angry email then.
Well, I had a whole lot of my friends back in Nashville and all over, and they're dubbing stuff, and it's hilarious.
Well, I mean, it's hilarious now. I guarantee if you didn't know that was happening, Kyle Brostowitz got a text or two, or somebody was. But that can't happen. We'll start with that.
We'll start there.
But second, since it did leak, I will ask you again.
Good content.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. You in the robe was kind of a nice peek behind the curtain. But the City Connects have gone over pretty well. People really like the
I like
kit.
them. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, look, I love my first ones. I mean, they were really cool. These are
the great cherry blossom.
Right.
ones.
Awesome. Yeah. But these are actually came out pretty good. They really did. So it's something different, The boys seem to like them a lot too. So that's awesome.
Is there any other stuff that happens in your office that we could record and put out that you won't know about?
Hey, you know what? You got to be in the circle for that kind of stuff.
We're working on it. But in terms of jerseys, a lot of old curmudgeons will kind of roll their eyes, whatever, who cares? But there's something to that where it's exciting for the guys, right? It's like you play 162. It is the grindiest of grinds in the history of grinds to go through that slog of the season. And it's like some little extra bit of seasoning, right? A little bit of spice to it. It's kind of exciting.
Hey, so I always say, when you put that uniform on, it's special, right? It really is. And when you get to connect with the city, especially DC, it makes it that more special. So we represent the city of DC and all of Virginia area and Maryland as well. So these guys they're great about it. They love it. I love it. It's awesome to be able to go out there and represent our city.
Davey, the final couple of roster spots are still up for grabs. You didn't get a chance for a last audition, I guess, today, but by now you guys have a pretty good idea of where you want to go. How will you make up your mind? Because they're different players. When you look at Tena versus Yepez, or if it's three relievers for two spots with Rutledge, Lord, and Revolta, it's odd that all of them could be, getting the gigs because they do different things. So how does that work exactly?
Yeah. So I'll sit with Riz tomorrow and the next day we'll talk about some stuff. I'm hoping that by Wednesday everything's set in stone. I want these guys to know what they're doing, and I always say, hey, look, it's going to take a whole lot of other guys to win the championship.
Yeah.
So I know the thing about opening day, it's awesome, but it's one day, in a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, things could change, So these guys, if they're here, if they're not, they got to be readily available to help us win games.
Do you meet with every player throughout the process when they get released, or there's so many of them? Do you have to send them?
Absolutely.
You do.
Yeah. It's the worst part of my job. It really is, and but it's part of it.
What goes into a decision that we may not be aware of? Like a bunch of idiots like us can go, oh, they got, for example, they got 2 lefties in the bullpen, so they probably don't need a third. And that's just that elementary level type stuff. What goes into these kinds of decisions that we may not think of as fans?
Yeah, it really is just just trying to construct your roster according to what you think your needs are.
Yeah.
For me, it's about, for position players, it's about, the in-game stuff. What happens in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning if we need to make a move? Do we have the right guys, right? So we think about that. Our pitching, we think about a lot now, as starting pitchers, a lot if they go 5 innings, 6 innings, that's great. For us, we try to push them a little longer. But if they do, we'd like to carry a guy that can go multiple innings, 1+ or 2, to cover us, So all that stuff goes into decision making when we make a roster.
Davey, last one for me. Give us something early in the season that you think is worth really tracking and is something you'll be using to say, hey, are we playing the kind of ball we need to? Is this a carryover from spring training that fans should be monitoring?
Yeah, so, as you know, we play really aggressive. This year, we got to be smart about running into outs. I think we got some guys in the middle of our lineup that could drive and runs. So we don't want to run into outs. We're going to be aggressive, but we want to be smart when it comes to running, stealing bases, going first or third. So that's something that we really, you guys can look at. But I don't want to give out. Hey, look, I think our lineup is set pretty good. So we got to hit. We got to hit. I think our pitching holds up. We're going to do fine. So we're going to score some runs.
Davey, give me a guy, putting you on the spot here a little bit. Give me a guy for fans. Wait till you get a load of blank. What do they see this year's version of?
I actually, I really believe James Wood's going to have a big year. I really do. But the guy that really, to me, has really matured a lot is our catcher, Gabriel Ruiz.
In great shape.
He's a different guy this year. He really is. So I'm looking forward to getting him going, and I'm watching him compete this year.
You said our catcher. I thought for a second you said our captain. You guys don't do that, though.
No, those things to me resolve themselves. I never named the captain. There's always a few that come out, stand out, and when they speak, guys tend to listen. So all that clubhouse stuff, they handle themselves.
Davey, thank you. We appreciate it. Go enjoy your evening.
No, it's good to see
Enough
you guys.
from us.
All right. Okay.
See you Thursday.
Davey Martinez, manager of the Nationals, will be back at it on Thursday with his ball club 2 days from now. This thing gets going for real.